We are back. Bet Like Mike Show, WinDailySports.com after a week-long hiatus because I, for some reason, took a vacation and Jason let me take a vacation, really. We're back. Mike North, how are you? Good to see you.
The whole place shut down. The whole place. Win Daily. I mean, basically, thank God for a couple of us to keep it alive while you were gone. The backbone, the heartbeat. That's what you are, Johnny J.
Man. I don't know about that. There's a lot of people that could, take the reins here.
You're absolutely right. There is. Okay, I try to give you a compliment.
I'm not good at that. I'm not good at taking compliments.
Well, you better be if you're in this business. You better be able to take it and run with
it. That's a good point.
All right, now check everything around up here. The borders and everything. That's what we do here. We got a couple picks. It's the fastest 20 minutes in any kind of radio. Podcasting, terrestrial radio. I said today we're known throughout America. And in parts of Greenland.
Even Greenland, right? Yeah, okay.
Absolutely.
I didn't know he had a Greenland audience. It's good.
Yeah, and that's what the audience turned into last night with the NBA, with the ridiculous ejection of the MVP of the league at home in a pivotal game in the third quarter of, I believe, when Jokic swiped at the ball. He did graze Cameron Payne. Cameron Payne looked like he was with Kennedy when he got assassinated. He went down. It's not like he got shot, okay? Anybody that's played basketball, or if you watched the game yesterday, Chris Paul got poked in the eye, Devin Booker got poked in the eye, and there was nothing. All of a sudden, this guy, in a pivotal game, these referees get together with New York, and they decide to bring on a suit to let everybody know we determined that he went through with the motion. When does intent come into play? Because that was a basketball play where he grazed the guy, and the guy acted and overacted, and you have replay to see that. He got up. He doesn't have a broken nose. He doesn't have a bloody nose. Doesn't have black eyes. Doesn't have anything. And you know what? It's not because I bet Denver. It isn't. Because I would have felt that way the other way, and I think most of America feels that way today.
Yeah, I didn't think you should have been ejected for that. It was a little, and everybody, and I feel like the whole NBA community world, everybody watching was like, that was a little soft. Like that the guys going for a ball. Yeah, did he go for it aggressively? Maybe like a flagrant foul, sure. Like he went aggressive, but to be ejected for something like that, he didn't straight up try to punch Cameron Payne. Like he didn't. I don't know. It's just
he went to steal the ball. Let me tell everybody this.
Right. Like there's a foul that if you don't go for the ball, you get a flagrant two, whatever. He went after the ball here. He just happened to accidentally hit Cameron Payne in the face.
No doubt. There was no intent. If look, you saw Booker almost die in this game because Jokic was going to kill him. Okay, if somebody didn't get in the way. If Jokic wanted to hurt somebody, he could. Okay, he didn't do that. He was frustrated. But if LeBron did that, he would have stayed in the game. I'm telling everybody this right now. If LeBron did the same thing, he would have stayed in the game. Now, maybe there's other guys that wouldn't have. Okay, DeMarcus Cousins, if he does that, he's kicked out immediately because of history. But
history.
MVP, you got the MVP of the league at home, and these referees. I mean, if I didn't know better, I'd swear they were on the take. I'd swear they had Phoenix. There's no other way to put it. And I know I'm not the only one saying that, but it seems like it's being soft-pedaled today. And Reggie Miller, it's surprising. After saying it should be a flagrant run for 10 minutes. Him and Harlan, because they got that check coming in from the NBA, from the network. Oh, that was surprising. Let me tell everybody, nobody's bringing this up today. In the 90s, Reggie Miller and Michael Jordan fought each other. They grab each other by the eyes. Miller was ejected. Jordan wasn't. It was a fight, and Jordan wasn't ejected. Okay? Now, he was suspended later on a game and fined 10 grand. Pocket change, couch money. But for Reggie Miller to have been an old school type player who fought, and Michael Jordan hated playing against Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller would get in his face. He didn't always show the ultimate respect. to Michael as far as Michael saw. But just go watch that fight and see that Michael Jordan wasn't ejected, and they eject this guy last night. Just another stain on this sport. Somebody should have been on the phone.
Yeah, I'm just surprised it happened. It just even if you take out the player who it was, it's just like it's a foul that I just a foul that shouldn't be ejected for. I don't know. I don't get it at all.
And Reggie Miller should have gone off. This is why this is what's wrong with Jocks in the booth. This is why I miss Cosell. I don't care how old you are, read up on him. He would have gone off.
Howard Cosell, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. And there's others that would have. I don't have time to list them. I know I would have, and I would have been out of a job. I don't care. I would have said, are you people out of your mind? I mean, just absolutely irresponsible. The NBA has lost its way. If that is an ejectable foul in the old days, and I'm not saying that long ago, even 10 years ago, before the three, before Steph Curry, that was nothing. And like I said, Devin Booker got poked right in the face last night. And there looks to be more intent than other things. They showed Draymond Green on Twitter last night, just bum rushing LeBron. They're both in the air and he's all over him. No foul. I mean, no 1 or 2 or that nonsense. It was just, I thought, bad news, John. I really did. But, you know, it happened. And, you know, Jokic didn't take a whole lot of umbrage to it, to be honest with you. Cool.
Yeah, he definitely was a little frustrated this entire series. Because he was doing, I think the last 2 games looked great, but just it's frustrating when you play your best and you know you're playing your best and still getting crushed.
I never wanted where Aaron Rodgers is playing with nobody after watching who Jokic plays with.
Jokic was not playing with anybody.
With nobody.
No. Jamal Murray for most of the year. If they had Jamal Murray, this would have been a series. But I do want to give a lot of credit. The Suns are just top to bottom. That is a loaded team. Top to bottom.
That's what's sad about this whole thing. They played great. Chris Paul's playing his best basketball I've ever seen him play. Yeah. Now, can he finish the deal? I don't know. We'll see what happens. I shut it off like the rest of America. After you kick the guy out in the third quarter, know your surroundings. Officials, be aware. They're not coming to see you, the people. It was an absolute accidental brush, and that guy sold it to them like they were fools, and they fell for it. So that's neither here nor there. That's just the way I felt about it. I don't think you do that, especially at home, and we'll see what happens. Now, I'm not saying I don't bet the sport every so often. I'm not saying I bet it very often. Yesterday, I actually found myself looking at soccer betting. Okay, now, I'm going to tell everybody this. What's really helped soccer is overseas. ESPN's done a lot with it. I still don't buy it, never will. That's the way it used to piss off the people that run soccer in Chicago, the Chicago Fire, friends of mine like Fred Hubner and others. But you don't tell a guy that grew up with the White Sox, the Cubs, the Bulls, the Blackhawks, the Bears, that all of a sudden I'm going to get excited about a product that's basically minor league. Okay? But that doesn't mean I didn't put a little on Croatia today. Plus the 0.5. That's how sick I am. I don't even want to turn it on. I've been cold since you left. Oh, you know I've been cold since
I've been doing pretty well still.
No, I did pretty well. I've been doing okay. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm not a soccer guy. I know people like to bet it, but I watched that game yesterday, the early game, England. Where's the rope? I mean, the most boring product in all of sports, in my opinion, I'm sorry, folks, is soccer. Your take.
I like soccer. I've been starting to grow. I've been starting to grow as a fan. But it's a sport that, yes, it falls kind of a little bit lower than some. Like it's really hard to watch soccer right now. I mean, because I've been watching baseball, NBA playoffs. It falls kind of, and hockey. The hockey falls in line too, kind of in that. It's like I like the NHL, but it's kind of fallen kind of the wayside because there are just so many other things on that. I have to pick and choose. Unfortunately, that just isn't one of them. I haven't watched a single second of the Euro 20. I haven't watched a single second of Euros 2020.
I watched a little bit yesterday just to see what I would have done. I would have ended up losing, okay, because I would have taken the dog getting like 1 goal. If you give me 1.5, I would have lost. It was 2-0 final. But the bottom line is, I'm with you. I watched a little bit of it. It was at the 23-minute mark, and I just wanted to jump out a window. It was so mundane, so boring, so overrated. And if it had, and around the world, I could get it. If that's your game, that's your game. But it's never gone over like it was supposed to. Back in the 70s, back in the 80s, the Chicago Sting, the Chicago Spurs, Karl-Heinz Granitza, Pato Marketic. I mean, big-time names. They won championships. Okay? But they had a parade and nobody even knew about it. You know? I mean, it was one of those deals. So, but Chicago still showed out a little bit. But it's never taken off like it should have.
It is growing. I would say it is growing in popularity. Just as I work at a station. I'm a pre and post game host at times for the soccer team here, and they're
popularity too. I think you're more popular than soccer.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you.
It is growing. It isn't growing at like an exponential rate. Like it's never going to take over as another big sport in America, but it has grown here, and it's grown enough that when I watch the MLS product, I enjoy it. I'm okay with the MLS product.
For an announcer's job. I mean, God, the most political answer I've ever heard from you. You want to talk about riding the fence? You want to talk about walking the tight wire? You want to talk about not wanting to step over that line, ladies and gentlemen?
Because I legitimately do. I think the sport's okay. Like I enjoy watching it, but again, it ends up falling to the wayside because
goodbye.
I have Major League Baseball to watch. I have NBA playoffs. There's not enough time in the day.
You know what? Here's what you said. Basically, yeah, it's an okay sport.
I like it,
but it's and nobody wants to be.
Sports is an oversaturated market. It really there's a ton of it, and sometimes you have to pick and choose others.
All right, now speaking of picking and choosing, there was a Twitter poll the other day with about 11,000 participants. You were on vacation. You were walking around from the bedroom to the kitchen, wherever the hell you were, looking out at the ocean or the lake, or going fishing or canoeing. Who knows?
Yeah, I did all that.
Of course you did. Space Jam is coming out. Okay.
Yes.
Now I didn't see the first one. Okay.
I watched it all the time. That was I was a kid, so
right, and that's what kids are going to go see it if their parents take them. And there's a lot of parents when it comes to LeBron I know of that won't take them because of that. Now the kids can put the pressure on the parents because LeBron the other day in that poll they listed 5 players. Who do you dislike the most in the NBA? Now, I know this is the villain role, but this wasn't LeBron's plan. 90% said LeBron James. 90. So I'm saying it's going to be tough, I think, for them. Now, you can't compare dollars now compared to when Jordan did it, to surpass Michael as far as the popularity, because it was not first. He was the first Space Jam, and he's Michael Jordan. What's your take? I think it will do well, but I don't think it will do.
It'll do well.
And personalities that you see on TV where they're promoting it, I don't like half of them. So basically, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
I am definitely going to watch this in theaters.
Of course you
I know.
are.
Because I grew up watching the first Space Jam, so Space Jam 2 it's just absolutely what I want to see. The problem is though, they got incredibly lucky that the first one was good. Like that it shouldn't have been as good as it was, and it ended up being this like cult classic kind of thing. It's really hard to recapture that over and over again. I think Space Jam 2 will be fine. I don't expect this to be like some great movie, though. I expect it to be entertaining, a few nice basketball things in there. LeBron James dunking all over people. It's going to be I'm going to enjoy, and I love Looney Tunes. The Looney Tunes characters are awesome. I want to see Lola Bunny and Bugs Bunny tearing it up on the court. So I can't wait. I love this. The first Space Jam movie I watched so much when I was a kid, and I'm probably going to watch this just as much.
It's all about confrontation with you. Confrontation. Everything's about confrontation. Ladies and gentlemen, Johnny J. By the way, Jordan outscored Miller 40-2 in the second half of that game, leading the Bulls to a victory.
Nice.
How about that? Miller was ejected from the game, but Jordan was allowed to continue without even being given a foul.
Wow.
Which were predictably harsh.
No
reaction.
technical, no anything. No. Okay. All right.
That's all I'm telling you, folks. And they kicked out the MVP yesterday. Things have really changed in the National Basketball Association. Now, it's time for what America waits for, what America yearns for, what America can't have enough of.
And they went a week without it. What did they do? Oh, man, what did they do?
A week.
A week.
They went a week. I mean, I threw a couple picks up there. I didn't notice a lot of your picks. You forgot about us.
I put a couple of picks up.
Yeah, you left this. It was supposed to be a daily thing, and I decided if John's not going to do it, I got sort of a petty.
I did. I get that swept up in vacation.
Yeah, water skiing or whatever it is you people do out there in the tri-state area, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm gonna let you go first, my friend, with America's one. Yeah, forget about it. This is like better than any cartoon you'll see. Us making picks.
I am going to go with both basketball games today, and I'll start with the Sixers. They're just more talented than the Hawks. The Hawks came out in that first game very strong. First half, Trae Young was shooting well. Ever since then, Sixers made the adjustment on him, and he's been good, but hasn't been good enough to carry a Hawks team that really needs it to beat the Sixers. Sixers are a great basketball team. We're seeing that. I'll lay the 3 points at the Sixers here. Joel Embiid's been great in this series.
Joel Embiid has been great. Yeah. You know what? I tell you who they miss on that team, Redick. When J.J. Redick was on the 76ers, he had nothing but open jumpers. Now, I know he's not as good now as he was.
Right. Seth Curry's kind of taken over that role. And Seth Curry's actually been very good in that role, at least in the playoffs. During the season, good, but he had that moment where he wasn't doing so well for a few weeks. But no, he's been great in the playoffs. So Seth Curry has kind of assumed that role, and it's been great for them because the Sixers, they need 3-point shooting. Basically.
All right, that's enough. We got the pick. All right, your Sixers, I'm happy for you. All right, Jesus. I could tell you've been off for a week, all right? Yeah. All right, anyway, here we go.
That's a good point.
Detroit, run line, +1.5 against Kansas City. Check it out. Might be -140 if you want to do it. If not, just take Detroit. I'll go with the baseball game. Right now, it's listed at +135. Next, my friend.
I'm going to get the 5 points. I don't know how the Clippers are laying 5 points here. We kind of saw this in the first round, and I bit too in the first round and taking the Lakers a couple of times. One time ended up working, but they're just overrated in the books, and I think the Clippers are overrated here in the books. The Jazz are the much better team. I don't care if the Jazz are on the road. Jazz are the better team here. They're the number 1 seed. They've been playing like it. I think they end up winning, but I'm going to just be safe and get the 5 points. That's a lot.
Okay, buddy, there you go, and you know what? I got an opinion on that game. It's going opposite of you. I saw what you saw, but I'm also going to take the Clippers -5 and the under in that game, which I believe is like 225, 223, something like that. Maybe you could look it up real quick, John. I got my scribbling here, and I didn't really print it out. I think it's 223
223 and a half. Yep.
There you go. So I got the Clippers and the under. Next, my friend, you have another one? Are you basically because you want to just gradually work your way back in after a tough vacation?
No, I was going to go with the Athletics and the Angels, but now by the time we got into the show, that the kind of line is ballooned up a little bit to a point where I don't want to take it. I will. You know what? It's not too much of a scary pick because the plus money is in there. I think definitely have to take a look at the Rockies +135. Austin Gomber has actually been good in the month of May and the beginning of June. He had 19 walks in the month of April. In all of May, in the first 2 games in June, he has 4 total walks. He figured out something. So I don't know what it is. I think Rockies are a good chance at home. You're a +135. That's a good price.
Who are you going to take in the Oakland game? Were you going to take Oakland?
I was going to take Oakland, yeah, okay. And it ballooned up because Dylan Bundy's kind of lost
I'm taking LA on the run line. I'm taking LA Angels on the run line plus the 1.5. So what I got is I got the LA Angels +1.5. I got the Clippers -5. I got the under 223.5, and I got the Tigers either +135. You could do that, folks, or go on the run line, which gives you a better chance to win because you're actually getting a run and a half. But sometimes that don't help. There's plenty of 6-1 games up there, so you're taking a chance when you take the run line. Plus, you're adding a little more juice. And who do you have, my friend?
Laying the 3 with the Sixers, getting the 5 with the Jazz, and then I'm going to take the Rockies on the money line +135.
Buddy, I can't tell you.
We did it.
We're hard without you.
I was a little rusty. I shook the rust off. I shook the rust off quickly.
Man, did you? You're like a running back that just got off the DL and ran for 130 yards.
Right.
So long. What a hair day I had today. Very Whitey Bulger like. So long, everybody.